So if I shut it, you are now watching Farming with Duffy Ag. Welcome back to the channel. Tell them hello. Alrighty, we're gonna dive into today. Did some running around earlier today. Got all sorts of goodies. Let's see how many projects we can button up. Yeah, appreciate you guys watching along, but let's see what I got in store. First things first, we gotta make that work. So we're gonna tie it into our spread function so that when this shuts, if we keep holding the button, it'll open this. No, it will shut this. That way, if we got an issue and we have to shut this, this will stay shut. But if we're good, we can open it up. I think that's what I want to do. Maybe I want to do vice versa. I'll do vice versa because if I have an issue, once I fix the issue, if I close it, as I open it, it's going to spread. Oh, we'll open that at the same time. So that is my plan. So let's swap these around. I got all sorts of fittings. It's a little bit of a windy day. Stuff's blowing around in here a little bit. So, well, Mother Nature, spring's coming, but like today's a chilly day. So got all sorts of fittings. Slid on over to JPM Hydraulic and they got me hooked up, so that should be good. These ball valves 3000 psi, so this thing's not set all the way maxed out, so, and we can lower it down. We don't need to run max pressure on anything. Let me throw these together. Take this out. So they hooked me up with different fittings so that I can make it all fit together. Since I had some concern because they are tight to each other. It should work out. We need some tape, thread tape. Thread tape. We're gonna put this on last. Actually, no, you can assemble it all because of what he gave me. So let me do. Freaking windy today. Why we needed this swivel piece was, well, it goes this way actually. You couldn't turn this around without hitting everything else, I don't think. It might have worked. It might work. If I can have one less connection, then it will be okay. Let me check. I think it would work, so we don't actually need that swivel. I was nervous that we did. Okay. So I got a swivel for a future date if I ever need it. I'm sure I will someday, sometime. But that will allow me not to have that in there, which is one less thing to leak, to have this headache. Oh yeah, that'll work. So going from metric to standard, that's the issue of some of it because, well, yeah, it doesn't actually, have all the same sizes on it. We might have to put that swivel because I can't get it to do what I want it to. Plumbed back in, gotta put some zip ties on it. I did go to the metal yard. I got more hoops to do. Somebody said, oh, you got to move that, you're gonna touch tree limbs and stuff. I don't actually think it's gonna touch anything. I might put one on the back side just to keep it, and then leave that slack in between so it can go in and out of it. Keep in mind, we're really not utilizing it that much. Probably gonna put a piece of hose over it though, in that spot there, so we'll just disconnect it and then I can clamp it on. But I got more of the thin rod or solid tube or whatever it is to do along the top there, just so I have it easy enough. I had to go to JPM. I said, I'll run down. I said, hey bud, need a few more sections of this. So he cut me up another section and away we went. But plumbed in now. We still got to bolt that down. We're all going to see exactly what I did for wiring. Hopefully in this video, we will see though. But that will get bolted. I think I'm going to raise it up, so yeah, I got some room underneath. First things first, open and close. Did I do this right? So open. I might not have enough juice on this battery. Had to have a live power source, but alrighty. So that is working. So I got the valves shut now. I did have them backwards, so I had to switch the lines up there. But if I open the valves, which the only time I'll do this is when I want to activate this, but so if I shut it, so then from there I would shut that valve and I could go back to the regular function. So let me shut these. So spread, just a normal day. So that will sit in that position because it will let manure out anytime. But then if I got an issue, come over here. So I'll have an issue where it's not pumping, which that means I'll open that valve and it will drop it. And then from there I can shut that valve and go back to working this, but I'll open it right up. Valve shuts. There it goes, it's open. So shut these valves and we're good to go. So let me show you what we got going on here. We gotta take all these off and get them lubricated up a little bit. There's some that fought us when we first had to take this apart. But there you go. So we can see all the way through. I think that valve's all the way up. It might go a little bit more. But yeah, we still got to do a few bolts and whatnot, but nothing too major. But pump is on. So my plan is hopefully this weekend get everything figured out as far as how I'm going to run the hydraulics back for this. But the boom setup right now, hydraulic figured out, we're good. Just got to power this and mount it down. That's much better. So now all the functions are able to work. Still got to do the cord, but like I said, we're going to run some things up and we're going to run some things back. 2 6-volt batteries. Yeah, one of them's junk. I don't know. No point in having 6 volts. So we got 2 12 volts in here. They're going to jump across. So it'll stay 12, but we got great battery capacity. So I got wires being made. Since, as you know, we only had one wire. So wires being made. And then I got more wires being made. Ooh. And we got 2 on this side. So what I'm going to do, we're going to jump positive from here. It's going to go back to the trailer. Negative is going to come from the ground, or from the battery shutoff that's going to get mounted on the frame. So we're going to do that. And then from there, it's going to keep going. So we got all new wires for what we need. We had a bunch of rubs. Yeah, this thing should be perfect on that. But then we're going to run power up to the trailer. We got a connection to go into the trailer that we can take apart. Makes life easy. And then from there, it's going to run back to that actual hydraulic standalone unit, which will allow us to run it. So very excited. Now that we actually have we're gonna have ground, both the truck, the trailer is all gonna be the same negative ground. I guess I could use 7 wire, but I'd rather just keep everything correct, because we could jump back to itself, because it was actually using that. So there's 7 actual wires that go up, since we got 1, 2, or I mean 8. We got power. Oh wait, no, you have your wire that comes back. That's what it is. So you got your power that goes up, and then this comes back and actually actuates the pump. So you got a power wire going up, a signal wire to actually activate the pump, and then you got your 6 functions. That is why there's 8 wires. Now it makes sense, because yeah, the ground is actually jumping across, so the ground never actually makes it through the controller. That's why there's 8 wires going through this. So yes, we need all 8, because you need all that. I guess we could rob power from up in the cab, but that means we got to slice into the line and do different things. So it's better off that we just have 8 wires going up. We got our negative and our positive coming back, and then we got to put our manure pump feed lines. We got to fix that. Yesterday, as we were putting this together, remembered we had no silicone to seal that up. Empty. I really went on some missions today. Like, I went all over. I don't know why that's black inside there. So just gonna put some silicone around here so it doesn't leak out. And as Mike Chambers informed me when building a manure pump, silicone is your friend, or anything like this, which, thanks Mike, I know you're looking out for me. So we'll do this up, because we siliconed everything else. So that got siliconed, that got siliconed, the pivot got siliconed, the coupler got siliconed. Yeah, we got it covered, I think. It's kind of, stuff might leak, and that's part of the nature, but you hope not. I did clean this up yesterday, so if you didn't watch that video, I'm not just throwing it on greasy stuff. But alrighty, there we go. Let me slide that back in. There we go, sealed up on there. So we just got to make sure we put some oil in there before we get going, because yeah, it's down this low, so it's not really doing much. I did make a little adventure. I gotta grab my bag, and I grabbed some light bulbs. The ones that were in it didn't make sense why they were in that way, but I guess it had one plug but 2 wires on it. I'm not sure why that did it. So when I was driving around today, I got one that has 2 plugs and 2 wires in it, or 2 prongs, and I got one that has 1 and 1. So we're gonna put this in here and see. I didn't get enough of the other lights. Keep in mind, we're going from 24 volt to 12 volt system, but hopefully these lights actually work on it, and then wiring it shouldn't be that hard, especially with a multimeter. That one's in there. I guess we really can't check it, because, well, we can if we ground it all out. I don't know. 2 pieces of metal. Let's build a little bracket for that pump to actually sit down on, and then that will make it raised up. We can put the bolt underneath when manure spills, because at some point it will. It's easy enough to clean underneath. Nothing vibrates around. Well, I'll cut this down, so that was 7 plus the bracket. So we'll add on each side, weld them together, drill the 2 holes. weld that on. I'm thinking I'll find a piece of rubber that goes in between, something light, just so it's not metal. Got my pieces cut, but in the meantime, we got drum chute. I got my openers, so we can start tearing the planter down. We'll have the rest of the planter stuff coming, or it's on its way already. Ordered some bearings yesterday. I did order all the bearings, or all the bushings for the 7520 last night, so pretty excited to get that all set up. There we have it. We'll just weld it up. They did take the tractor I was using on the generator, so I'm getting projects put together. So like that, we got to weld the gussets on that still. I got the front steps to weld, so I'll probably have them all ready, and then I'll weld everything at once. That way it's efficient, and then we'll be done welding on this thing, hopefully. Probably a little bit more, but that will work good. Drill 2 holes, that will bolt right up into it, and then it will hold it up off the ground, and things won't get manure all underneath. And then we'll just figure out how to utilize something to cover it. So I'm waiting on the cables. I'm hoping I pick them up today, but I don't think I'll be able to. They're quite extravagant as far as what I had them do, the amount of cables I had them do. So we got all sorts of stuff going on, so that might wait till tomorrow morning. So I'm just tinkering along with stuff. We should get this planter pulled out. At some point it's gonna rain, they say. At least they say that. But we can start stripping it down, closers, everything like that. Yeah, that's at least the plan. I guess we'll see. I got seed firmers, but they go on behind the openers, so I gotta wait till we get all that to really set it up. I'm gonna bend some pipe. So what I'll do is I'll bend some pipe. We'll see if we can build that clamp. We gotta find some rubber to go in between that. Gotta figure out how to attach that rubber too. What we gotta do, we gotta bend that almost at a 90, and then we gotta wrap it around, and then we gotta bend it back out, and then we'll clean that edge up and we'll poke a hole through, and that will hold it, the actual pipe, in place so it won't move around. So there was one person, and I figure if one person thinks it, maybe a few people think it, but I just want to clarify. My stuff, what I do on my own, is my own complete business. I'll take a seat and tell you. So it's my own complete business. Duffy Ag is away from the farm. Granted, you see him in the farm shop. Skid steer's still there. The farm's deciding what they want to do. I think he got some stop leak for it. We'll give it a try. Otherwise, I got to pull that motor. When I'm working on farm stuff, I am punched in working for the farm. When I'm working on my own stuff, I'm not punched in. I'm not working for the farm. I give the farm a bill, or whoever I'm working for, a bill when I do my own stuff. The reason I took those meters were because they're not going on the farm's 4-row, because we're going to run my own thing. Making sure Yanko doesn't get run over. He's sitting in the middle of the driveway over there. Not gonna run the farm's 4-row, so I said if you supply the meters and some other parts, we can run the 8-row at no cost to the farm, and it will be a much better planter. We'll get things done more efficiently. But the plan was I was gonna charge him per acre to plant the corn. But that is how it works. Somebody yesterday was like, you're just using your daddy's money and farming for him, but acting like it's your own. My father's not a fan of most of my projects, to be honest. So 7520, when I got that, he was not very happy. So, but it was my money, it's my toy. I do some farming for 100% myself, as far as my own ground, my own lease, my own equipment, my own seed, my own fertilizer, and then I do custom farming is what it would be considered. So yeah, I forget who it was, but I figured if one person thinks that, maybe there's more that think that I'm farming daddy's farming and I'm just spending his money. But honestly, I'm spending my own money, and it's not that much fun to spend your own money when you're really not doing any income. So as of right now, once we get rolling, then, well, you know, we got tillage work, we got manure hauling, we got planting, we got chopping, we got chopping, we got chopping. So when you're chopping every 4 weeks, you stay busy. Plus I got the off-farm job. Alrighty, I'll bend it around. We're gonna see what we can get into. But that is why I'm up in the farm shop, because I do utilize some of their stuff to do my own stuff. But then again, I work on their own stuff for pennies on the dollar of what a mechanic would cost. So, yeah. And to go back on that point, like, I have barely worked in the shop all winter, and this is how it is. So, people are like, oh, you gotta clean your mess. I've barely been in here all winter, and it's still the same exact mess, even without me being involved. Go. That is not very far in there, but I can't make it any farther in, so hopefully this just goes nice and easy. Well, we're gonna let that cool down before I touch that. But let me show you. So I got this side bent, loops over. Once we take it apart, once it cools down, we'll heat that corner and we'll bend it, and then we'll cut it off and we'll actually make it all line up. But then 2 bolts through the side, pull that down, we'll hold that pipe in place really, really nice. This is the second try actually at it. Had to do some remodification. So that side's a little warm still, but that will work. So we got a gap between them. Then we'll pull it down tight. It just holds it so that that doesn't move. I like everybody's idea of putting rubber underneath there. I just got to figure out how we're gonna put rubber underneath there. Yeah, we're just out here building little tables. So I'll build this, we'll drill the holes, get it mounted up so at least this is solid. Getting gussets up on there. So I know a lot of people have pointed out that I still have yet to do that, so we're doing that. Cutting blocks out of it, so I got 2 more right there. So I'll just need 2 after that and get them welded in there. That way it gives it some strength. We don't rip our boom off someday and make it real awkward. But yeah, starting to rain outside. Always something fun. Got those gussets on. Cut my hand. Looks a lot worse than it is, but I got this all welded up, drilled the holes. And as it was going, I really need a workbench at some point here. And as it was going around, or as I was drilling, it grabbed and it came around and smashed my hand. So that's good. But that's drilled, welded. We got to get a piece of rubber I want to put in between, but let me throw that on there and show you. There you have it. it's up out of the way, so if when manure splashes, gets places, it's easy enough, hose it out. If it's sitting on the ground, you get stuff in cracks and everything else. I left everything open underneath, but 2 bolts, some rubber plate or rubber in between, rubber mat or something like that. That makes it really, really nice. So we are gaining on this. Yeah, it's a little tedious stuff. So all day long, all this morning, I ran around and got parts, got metal, went and got the dropped off the cables. They'll be done tomorrow. It's quite a lot of cable, so they'll be done tomorrow. We'll throw them in the truck. We'll dive through the truck, figure out what we need to reverse as far as on that voltage gauge, on the fuel gauge. Plenty of good comments, you guys. Appreciate them. And then, yeah, from there we just got to figure out our routing. We got little stuff left to do. We got some paint to splash on some places. Yeah, this is getting closer, much closer than it was a week ago, so I'm very happy. We're just waiting on stuff to dive in, do everything up. We got most of the stuff. I did get the connectors for in between here. They got them from Shoop, 15 bucks a piece, so I got both of them and the pins, so we're official. But we got cotter pins to throw in. Once the other 4 meters get here, we'll get the other boxes set up. That box that was bent in, yeah, looks real good now. Just sitting around, everything popped out, so we're good. I was a little nervous there. A lot of people said, oh, you'll be okay. I'm exhausted. It is, what time is it? 7, bud? Hey, 7 o'clock? We're gonna get out of here. Danny is gonna pick up my trash. So Danny's been on the channel. It's been a while. Danny on Saturdays has trash route. He does it for Jared. So I was like, yo, you wanna swing through? I'll bag up all that stuff. Somebody said drill holes in the bottom so the bag doesn't get stuck. That's a good idea. I'm like, you guys are smart. So he's like, yeah, I'll swing through and pick your trash up every week if you got some. That way it's one less thing. We got a dump in town, or a transfer station. It used to be a dump years ago. So the farm goes there once a week or stuff like that, but I don't, if I start throwing my garbage in their pile, they're gonna complain. So it goes back to what I'm doing on this stuff is my own stuff. My trash is my own stuff like that. And as Danny says, appreciate you supporting local businesses. So I appreciate all my local businesses, such as JPM, who hooks me up with random stuff. I go in there and I'm like, hey, I got an idea. How do I make it work? And they're like, alrighty, let's do this to that. Here's a valve. Let me pull this out. And like, they've hooked it up over the years. So JPM, Lowell Iron and Steel, Chelmsford Electric. Who else? We're missing people. CarQuest, which used to be Napa, in Chelmsford. Yeah, a lot of local people. Farmers keep a lot of local businesses going because of the amount of money they put back into the local economy. So, yeah. But, alrighty. We got plenty of stuff still to do coming up. I do got the parts for that. So, maybe if we hit a roadblock this weekend and we can't go any further on that or on the planter, we'll pull that front axle, see what's going on. I got everything except for... there was a bearing, one bearing cone for $174. We'll pull them out. We'll see how the bearings look. And I didn't get that big front pin because that was $620. But I think the bushings are just worn and they got some slop to them. So the bushings, I got all the bushings. Yeah, hopefully we can pull that front axle nicely. That needs a cab kit. We're gonna put the 3-point hitch back on. We're gonna put the quick hitch on. We got plenty of things to do, but I'm gonna get out of here. Go do some office work, edit some video, keep up on it, get some dinner. Whew, another long day. You guys only saw a little bit of it because a lot of it I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off. But appreciate you guys watching, liking, subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good one.